Good afternoon and welcome to our Golden Jubilee debate, which we are organizing with Mr. Jaifar Reddy, a person who in the ITJ Advanced 2019 secured an AIR of 673 and is currently pursuing his electrical engineering at IIT Madras on the topic parents should not live their dream in children, rather go for career counseling with them. And why have we chosen this topic with this guest is because this guest himself is an example of this topic because as far as I have got my information, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, please do, that your parents wanted you to pursue medical and enrolled you into a certain institute for the same, but then you chose out of medical and then went for engineering. So am I right for that?
Yeah, initially the thing was I wasn't very sure about what to do, and then so I went with what my parents wanted. 2 months down, I realized what I wanted, and I was very happy because I was very lucky because my parents did realize that I'm not interested and put me back in engineering.
Sir, my first question to you on this topic is what are your initial views? I mean, we can all see that the first thing is that when we are considering parents living their dreams in children and instead of parents going in career counseling with them, all of that, we think of the fact that the children, if they make a choice on their own, they will not be, it's not so likely they'll be able to succeed because their choice may be something which is wrong for them. But parents will always make a choice which, even if not good from a world perspective, because the parents cannot think bad for their child. So what I mean, what's the use? Because parents can live their dream, even if it's something bad from a world perspective. Won't it be good because the parents can't think of doing bad for their children?
But the child also wouldn't do. I mean, a person wouldn't think back for himself either, right? So, I mean, unless extreme cases, that is not what happens. And these days, it's not like you can't earn money through any specific skill. You can have any skill and you can earn money through it. There are many ways through which you can do that. So obviously, like, yeah, what the child says matters, and the parent can give an opinion. Like, he can't tell, for example, the child says I want to pursue something in business. The parent can tell, yeah, the better path, the secure path would be like to do engineering and then go for higher studies rather than arts, because that gives you later, if you change your mind, that gives you. So these kind of suggestions obviously the parent can give. And probably, so I myself have never been to career counseling. So I think, yeah, career counseling is a must as well. Like, in the sense, during schools should can make it compulsory, etc. And if I mean they, because their source of advice would be much more reliable, right? Because that's their job. So first thing, to answer your question straightforward, parents can't think anything wrong for the children, but then it's not like they can enforce their opinion. Because
And
obviously
so,
the child is inspired by their parents and everybody around them while they're growing, so they will have some influence already. uh, yeah, that's all I have to say.
and so what about the fact of living the dream? I mean, many people can have those kind of dreams which are too high, too of a high level kind of perspective to achieve or do something. But that can be something which they will bow out of. And what are your views on going for something else when there's already something decided for you? For example, you see that engineering is too hard or medical is too hard, and I want to go for engineering, and I want to go for the other alternative. So, what are your views on that vacillating between professions? Is it something which is
I mean, it
appreciable?
becomes. So you mean, if the parent realizes that's not the right thing for them, and whatever they've chosen might not be the best thing, and then they try to enforce whatever they done. Still, they don't have the right to enforce whatever they want. Right? They can obviously suggest. Like, that's always never an option that the parent can do. Even if he's making the wrong choice according to the parent, I think the student, or he should try it out for himself and realize that, then he'll understand. Otherwise, even if you tell it, he wouldn't believe. So yeah.
Answer a personal question. What drove you to engineering? Why did you opt out of medical? What was
Uh,
your
first few actually, yeah, first few months. I don't know. I think it's just that I missed math and general physics a bit. So that's why. Yeah, that was the main driving force. Yeah, math wasn't that we didn't have that much of math or uh, the topics we were doing that time specifically in biology. I like biology in general, but then those topics specifically also wasn't. I wasn't that interested in. Maybe that was a minor reason, but then I tried to keep it as minimal reason as possible. Yeah, basically, I think it was that I missed math and.
answer? Why not something like maybe say MBA or business, which can involve
Oh,
more
because I had no clue what those meant back then. In the sense, I still don't have that much of an idea. In the sense, yeah, I think I had I was fairly clear that I like sciences. Uh, so I didn't think too much about those options.
So, sir, what? So we can get driven to the point that it's all about you should be informed. Whatever choice your parents are making, it should be
Yes,
something that is informed, right? Because
yes,
you need to know what the world is wanting from you, or
yeah,
what the world is, uh, let's say, what the world is expecting. What is a profession that is more inviting for a job to happen, and what is giving more in monetary or other resources which you want. So.
true, yeah. So this is first thing is actually in our school days when we have to make this for I mean choosing between science, arts, etc. There are many things in the sense back then we aren't taught much about finance in itself, financial independence, etc. So we don't think too much about earning and all. I mean, we do think about earning. We just think that okay, these guys earn more, these guys earn less. But then I don't think they realize that any profession you can earn enough for yourself to be happy. And then second thing is we don't know all the options either. So yeah, like you said, something like career counseling at school level is not implemented that much. Like we aren't fully aware of all the options and what they actually mean and how exactly to get there, what are the different paths to get there. How which option would maximize my choices because I'm not sure right now. Like I'd like to make a decision later. So I think these things, yeah, we are, and even the student is not. He doesn't know what are the right questions to ask as well. He'll obviously have many resources. He can ask his parents. He can ask his. I mean, he'll know a lot of. He can ask his teachers, but then he wouldn't even. He hasn't experienced it, so he wouldn't know what are the right questions to ask. So career counseling at school level is important.
And sir, do you regret the choice choosing engineering over medical in any way?
I don't regret it. No, I mean I don't regret it, but then I don't think I would have suffered there as well. I mean, suffered a lot. I'm happy right now, so I don't regret.
So it's we can see that it's developing on a lot of factors. It should, even if it's not something which the world wants, it should be something that is driving you towards happiness, right? And
So
that's
yeah, a
once.
student cannot know that. Like it is. I mean, maybe it's few factors he could know, but then at that age, I mean, I still don't know what I want because I'm not experienced enough. So I mean, how could a student? Maybe he has a clue or certain idea. That's great, but then and it's but it's fine not to know about that. That's what I meant. So for that, he has to uh, have a lot of career related education. So my main point here was it's completely fine not to know what makes you happy, etc. In a sense, because at that age you haven't done much professionally or anything. So yeah, you need not take the pressure of being like, oh, I have to choose something which will make me happy, or if not, I won't be at that age. Yeah.
So, sir, and what are your views? If so, does that mean that we should now encourage schools to go for more on career counseling and start maybe even giving sessions on the same sessions and webinars, organizing them for the students? Because, as you said, there's no other, they don't have any work experience. They're also at an age where they're not even maturely or neurologically developed to make a choice that is so informed unless they have all the resources available for them. So
Hmm.
what are your views on
So one thing is there are many decisions, uninformed decisions in our life which we need to make. So that is fine. Like we, it may not be the perfect decision, but it is, I think, a school's responsibility to impart uh, some level, some degree of knowledge, or some degree of, they should know what they're doing. Basically, the students, at least a certain level. Um and yeah, so like you said, career counseling, etc., is important, and it need not be like as formal as, it could be something like, where students are given 2 months, in school itself they can choose some specific profession, and they can maybe just for 2 months they can go and, if not work under them, look, I mean, just have a look at how things go around in that particular field or something. So they get an idea that this can happen. Yeah, from 8th, ninth, 10th, they can, for 2 months they can just look at how things happen. And because here there is not too much pressure to go to the right place as well. I mean, because your friends might would have gone somewhere else, you would have gotten the right review of how things are there. um, so that is one way. Apart from that, yeah, formal sessions are required. Yeah.
that? And sir, now judging from your further educational background, just a general question: are IITians or people from IIT or people getting into the IITs, are they really different from others, or it's just a hype about it?
um, there is no, it's not hype, but they're not different as well. I mean, there is no hype about it, in the sense, to come here you have to put in the effort, and but then once you're here you can become pretty dumb. But then, yeah, there is no, you get a lot of opportunities here. And I honestly am not completely sure how many of them you get outside, because um, yeah, I myself have not been through college outside, but then I have talked to people, and I don't think the level. I mean, you don't get the equal number of opportunity, especially if you see purely placement side or purely research side. If you're sure like where you want to go, what you want to do, then IIT is a very good place, because if you know what you want to do, you have all the resources here. Even if you want to figure out, there are resources here. And curriculum wise also, it's very, I would say, much more flexible than colleges outside, because they make it as uh, broad as possible, so that you can go wherever you want at any point. If you want to shift at some point, it won't be that hard. Yeah, so there's no hype about IIT, you know? Like, I don't know how to answer that. Yeah, I don't know how much, what people think, like, to what degree they think. Before I had come here, yeah, in my eyes as well, it was really a big thing. And the people here are excellent. Like, I have not seen such people anywhere else. Like, they are beyond my understanding. Yeah.
And so when you were preparing or before preparing for the
Yeah.
examination of IIT, did you have a fixed target, a rank, or a fixed score in your mind
No.
before preparing?
I just wanted to clear. I was, so I had never cleared anything this big before, so I didn't think too much. I just did whatever I had to. Best. So after I wrote my advanced, like maybe like few months before advanced, and after I wrote my advanced, I was hoping I'd get below 2000 and I'd be happy.
And
So I
sir,
didn't have any fixed IIT as a target or a fixed rank. I just went with the flow. I just tried my best to get whatever I can.
so sir, it doesn't matter whether you should keep a goal or not. It's about giving your 100%. It's about you giving your 100%, you feeling that effort, that yes, I'm satisfied with my effort, right?
Yeah, but I used to be satisfied once in a while, but you know that you're never 100% fit. Uh, but yeah, it's basically about, I think, yeah. So I wouldn't have been able to do it alone as well. My parents helped me a lot. Obviously, my teachers, my parents. So uh, yeah, I mean, just do whatever you can and never. Yeah, it's about you basically. Yeah, you have to put in the effort, and you have to feel like, yeah, I've done something.
And sir, when we encounter a certain situation where there can be in whenever we are preparing for something like this, there can be two situations. One can be we are doing very well, we are doing very confident of ourselves. The other is we are not doing so good. Maybe it's almost like going through hell in a way. So how to keep ourselves motivated toward what was our drive initially? What was our goal? What how should we keep ourselves motivated?
So I was more on the latter side. I was slightly towards that side. So what kept me motivated? First thing, I liked what I was doing itself. Like I like to sit down and study whatever I was studying. Uh, Especially math and physics. Chemistry also it wasn't bad. Chemistry also I liked, but then not as much as these two. But chemistry used to be like some, it used to relax my brain a bit after like heavy math and physics. So what and other things which kept me motivated were I had friends who were not at all related to, who were not IIT aspirants and all. So I was in Akash and there were not many IIT aspirants as such, like unlike other uh, some of my other friends in IIT who have like huge side gangs of IIT friends. So I used to relax with them a lot. So um, yeah, that used to take my mind off for a while. So but then yeah, stress is always there. So I was not doing that well during my preparation. But then yeah, just going around and especially my parents supporting that it's fine, just do your best and yeah, that used to be sufficient.
And sir, considering in this era, the era where we are not so obviously, we are almost not all free to go to an institute, and because it's a different experience altogether when we are going to an institute, we are interacting with peers. Even in between the 5 minutes in class, we are getting maybe some amount of knowledge. And the other is studying online, where there's rarely any communication between them because you also have to
So
study
IIT
from.
did reopen, kind of IITM, RITM kind of reopen. It's just time to reopen, and I think professors kind of do realize this. But then yeah, online sucks. There is no debate about that. I have been influenced. I think many of my friends and I myself have been influenced by online, so it's screwed up a lot of my schedule and all. And so, but otherwise, yeah, online is not a great option. But it is if the question is, is IIT still worth it? The thing is, uh, so when I was preparing for JEE, I never specifically thought of that I want to get into an IT, and that's was I mean that was always that like I can't get into an IT, but then I just did it because first thing I wanted to clear something that big as JEE. I mean that would add really value, and then second thing was I was enjoying what I was studying. That those are the main reasons, and then IIT was obviously that like as an after reward. So basically, and do what you're doing for the process itself. The process will teach you a lot of things. IIT obviously, yeah, it is still worth it, even if it is online because the I colleges realize that online is not worth it and they will try to get you offline. So not to worry about that. So it is still worth it, yeah.
And so getting back to the topic a bit, when we are considering about we talk about parents and what their role is. So can all of us agree that parents, in whatever way, even if we have in career in informed choice, like they, I want to ask you, they are an instrumental help in definitely in any walk of life, whether it be academic,
Yeah,
non-academic, co-curricular. They are the backbone. You can't do anything without them. Even if they are making a wrong choice, when they see you, they're gonna be with you, even if
true.
they know that yours is a bad choice
Yeah,
from their perspective at least.
yeah.
So, what are your views on that?
Um, yeah, there's no doubt. Like without, I mean, I'm still very heavily dependent on my parents. Uh, Financially, obviously, that is there. But then even um, anytime you screw up something and your parents say it's fine, that's the biggest thing. Like, you know that it's fine. So uh, yeah, so there is no doubt that whatever you do, parent support is a huge booster. But then, yeah, that still, as I said in the beginning, parents should realize that that's their responsibility, not their. It's not some power they have. Uh, so they have to. I think. most parents do realize that at some point, if not immediately, that I mean, it's a responsibility to support the children, not something they don't have the right to, not complete right to take decisions. They do have, obviously, but then yeah, they have to make the children independent enough so that they can make their own decisions. So
And sir, about the parents again, they are of course instrumental. You just told us that, but again, how should we approach them when we know inside that there's a choice which is actually something which is in colloquial terms retro, or something which is something not relevant to what is the belief system of today. We believe a certain kind of thing today, and that is how the world works. But their choice, although beneficial for us, is something which in today's world is not something viable. So what is the best way in approaching the parents? Should we consult a teacher? Should we tell them ourselves? What should we do?
uh, obviously, have a conversation with them. There is no doubt. Like you have to talk to them. So first thing is, yeah, there should be no boundaries. Like you must be able to easily communicate whatever you want. They'll tell whatever they want, and there should be, yeah, no boundaries for that. Yeah, there is no doubt. Like you have to talk to your parents as easy as that. Yeah, you have to communicate and understand what they are telling. Understand, see what for what exact reasons they are giving whatever opinion they're giving for whatever you've told. Uh, yeah, that is the main part basically. Right? You have to talk to their parents. You don't. I mean, if that is really hard, yes, then you can go through if yeah, for few students that might be hard, so they can go through a teacher. Yeah, like you said. But then I would. It's obviously best to go through, talk directly with your parents.
And that being a point, and sir, what about
You don't need to call me sir. You can just call me.
uh, again, I'm not so well with the question, but still, with the parents, how early should we talk to our parents, and how early should we be in making a choice and then informing them about it? If we have a choice and they are objectionable to it, even whatever they are talking, how early should that be in your view?
Oh, if you have a clarity, then talk to them immediately. The problem is students. At least for when I was in tenth and all, I didn't even know what was the right questions to ask. Like, so I didn't know what to talk with them. Or I could really talk. All I could really tell is I did better in my. Uh, I the maximum I could talk was probably I did equally good in biology and math. I'm not sure what to talk. I'm not sure what to take. Right, those are not the kind of things that you should look into. Right. So yeah, the initiative is probably again here, like schools, where schools have to take the initiative. Here also, parents I think that should take the initiative. But then the students, obviously, as soon as from student side, there is no time limit. Like as soon as you have a doubt regarding anything, just feel free to think.
And also, the parents are the ones who they'll be more informed, right? Because they'll be more informed, so because they are people who have more experience, and even if they're making a choice in what you're choosing, they will have more experience if they know that they have suffered this high or this low, whatever they have experienced. So, what about that?
Yeah, obviously they can't share their experiences. They can't share their experiences over the student. I mean, the child is better informed, but they can narrate it as exactly how it happened. But yeah, I can keep. I think I'll keep reinstating this only that yeah they can't make the final choice. So first thing as a parent, your responsibility is that you don't make choices for your
Yeah.
child. I mean, your child, I mean, you develop him or her good enough that he can make his own decisions. Otherwise, it doesn't end up well. So that's the first thing, like as a parent. So obviously you can give advices, etc., and you must not. You can. You will have a huge say in whatever they give. I mean, they'll be usually influenced by whatever you say. But then finally, they should be the ones who take the call.
And sir, even if you're that's a right point, because we need to understand that the students are the ones who are going to make a choice on themselves, and they should be ready for that choice. But at the same time, the other thing also we need to understand is, if the parents want their dream to be lived, they can't just say, okay, just go study this subject, right? They have to tell the student why they should study that subject, what are the benefits of doing that certain stream which they are preferring, and not preferring maybe what the child wants or what is in the real world, but only living their own dream. And just forcing their own dream is wrong. But living their own dream, justifying their own dream, that may be something or right or wrong. In your view, what is
No, that is, I think, uh, yeah, that is fine only. Like I said, they'll usually influence. They will hugely influence what the final decision, but they just can't make the final decision. That's it. So they can obviously sell whatever they have to their children, and yeah, if their children are actually interested in that, that's fine, right? So yeah, they can. So like you said, they can. Uh, they need not force it upon them. They can basically have a pitch point about why exactly they should follow that path. Yeah, that's fine.
And so, what about the relation between the parent and the teacher? Should they all? What about what do you think about that? How should the teacher of any student teaching them the subject and the parent of them be with communicator to each other?
Uh, so okay, that's a good question. I don't have an immediate answer. Yeah, can we just come back to that later? I'll think about that.
Yes, sir. That's one question, and we are looking from a. I actually want to tell from my because also being a student, I want to ask some questions, but I unfortunately I need to limit myself to the topic we have at hand. So, and then question can be reserved for the later section in the debate where not deb- where we'll be taking the questions. But so about the parents again, the career counseling, and should they have to be informed, we are getting that, but about career counseling, how should that be maintained? How should we convince them? Because there can be a point where we won't even be able to convince them. What can be the last straw in your?
So the students convincing
Yes, sir.
parents. Okay. So actually, I've never been through a formal career counseling session, so I'm not completely sure how it works or the quality of the sessions or the number of the sessions. Uh, but then, yeah, like I said, career counseling is a good option, but it's obviously not a must. If teachers, parents, everybody take an uh, initiative to specifically let the let the student know about whatever he needs to know, that's also good enough. But then, how does the student convince parents to um, to allow them to attend career counseling? Is that a question?
Sir, it's only about convincing. My question is, how should we convince the parent?
Um,
Because they can
so you can do given the resources right now. First thing you can
do
do your
maybe.
I'm sorry, your voice is cutting a bit. Is it on me?
I'm saying they can always be rigid on their views in many cases. They can go to extents where we will not be able to convince them to a to that kind of extent. So what should we do in that case?
Oh, so I think firstly online there are excellent resources, but then the problem is finding the right resources online. There are free online resources, that is one thing, and these days you have. But then the only problem is you have to find good ones. Um, but otherwise, these days, yeah, considering these days how many resources are at hand, you can basically educate yourself about anything. Um how to convince parents? So basically, I think first thing you can go and tell them that what are the exact confusions you have, and what is the level of I mean you can just tell them how much you don't know, and you just want some clarity on what exactly you're doing. Um, and I don't think any parent would not allow at all. Like they would be like, no, definitely this is not something which I will. Because if you ask your parent that I want to learn keyboard, then they'll send you to a piano class or something. Uh, so similarly, if you just tell that, yeah, this is something I'm very unaware about, and you pinpoint it to them, you find out all the details. You can say that this is the specific career coaching counseling I would like to attend, and I think yeah, parents would be helpful. And just basically do all your research and be ready about what you need. So I think that would help. But then otherwise, I'm not sure because I have not exactly been in that situation. So when I was making the choice between medical and engineering, my parents did like take me to a lot of uh, people who were doctors and engineers and trying to get me to talk to them. Yeah, that did help. So that did help my decision a bit. And yeah, so I think yeah, actually I don't know exactly the perfect answer to it, but I think this is all I can say about it.
And sir, one more question is, should we come, because the topic is saying that the parents should not live their dream and rather opt for career counseling. So should we completely not live the dream in children and just go for career counseling? What
No,
is
no, no,
the
no,
next
no.
step?
I would say ideally the best scenario is you just leave a child free, and if he comes to a if he comes to a decision, then I mean on his own, or if he comes up with something like he wants to do this, then it's absolutely fine. But then yeah, if the child is indecisive and is not sure, and he thinks that he needs to know, career counseling obviously needs to be done as it's school itself. It need not be counseling, more like career awareness. It need not be advice specifically for you, but generally about what are all the career options, and how things progress. uh, so that can be, yeah, that should be done during school. Counseling, so I think I have been interchangeably using these two words. Counseling I think is more like specifically for you, fine tuned for you. That is fine as well, but then yeah, that is good as well. So the main question was, sorry, I think I lost track of the question. The main question was uh,
Hi, Jacob. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, sir.
Yeah,
uh, I had an
Jacob. I
exam today,
remember.
sir.
Uh, Jacob, I remember when you joined Akash. Then you took NEET course. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes, sir,
because
I
I
had taken
got
it.
I got as a hearsay. I need your endorsement on the same.
Yes, sir, I had taken it.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
sir.
joined as a NEET aspirant, but intermittently did change to IIT, and that change did all good to you. I would like to know
Fortunately,
of
yes, sir.
you.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that back
would
then.
like to know of you because in that stage that you are, that age that you are, you're not known to. You need career counseling, that's for sure. Yet, in order to reinforce whatever you require, you need to convince your parents, right?
Yes, sir.
So
So,
how are you so certain on what you have to take in your life that you went ahead and you went beyond what your parent did require of you and did make them convince on your line of thought?
so, first thing, my parents were very, very strict about what exactly I want. Like, I mean, they weren't very, very strict about me pursuing doctor. They wanted it, and I wasn't sure, so I just went ahead with it. But then, yeah, even a slight indication from my parents that they want it from you is a huge pressure on you. Because yeah, you want to, if you respect your parents, you want to accept to them as well.
Of course, no doubt.
Uh, so it was yes, sir, it was a painful period. Like I just talked to a lot of people, but then talking to people as such didn't help. Uh, but then I don't know. Uh, I'm not sure, sir, exactly. Even I'm not sure how exactly I went through that phase. But then it was a painful phase, and I got through.
Okay.
How did I convince my parents? My parents were relatively supportive, sir. Like I didn't have to like talk to them a lot. It was more about convincing myself about what I want to do. Uh, yes, sir. So I just had to tell my parents, and then
Of
they
course,
looked
no.
into the best options in NEET and sorry in JEE. Like so, they looked into different coaching centers, etc. But then I thought, yeah, let me just continue to Akash and put my best.
Right, right. Yeah, it's more about being assured on what you are to take. Of course, parents are all supportive and there will be no departure to what you have decided. But they need to ascertain that you are steadfast on what you have chosen, right? So to
Yes,
make
sir.
that choice and to stand by it, just call for guts.
So actually, yes, sir. So there was another. I'm not sure if that helped. So in my school, I had taken biology. I could have taken continued with biology as well in school and basically done gone for engineering coaching. So I would be eligible to write NEET at the end of 2 years.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I don't know for some reason. Looking back, maybe that was not the best decision. But I chose like let me if I'm going to engineering side, let me drop that completely and focus completely on engineering.
And
And
this
I
brings me to
shifted.
another question, Jayaka. This brings me to another question because it's a pertinent question for any youngster, and that being, should we go for the combination physics, chemistry, math, bio, or should we be very focused on physics, chemistry, math, or physics, chemistry, bio? What is your take?
Uh,
Because being
Physics
on two stools, I don't think is in my what I have judged of the career 20 years is you should not be shaky, you should not be on two stools. So I'll prefer going for one. But what you say? You have
So
experienced it, you have
back
lived
then,
it.
so even I thought like let me just completely shift my focus to that. And so I realized that if I'm shifting to engineering, my anything less than GE wouldn't be that appreciable. So I thought let me put my full time there. So I shifted to computer so that my academic load would be less. Biology would be relatively heavier. So and I wouldn't keep going back and forth as well because it's done whatever I've done.
Yeah.
So that was my thought process back then. But looking back, I don't know. Looking back, I don't know. Yeah, I think if I wouldn't have been that serious, I would have enjoyed biology in general as well. Just from a school perspective, just uh, because I enjoyed biology as a subject. It wasn't that I hated it. Uh, so yeah, I'm not completely sure. So which is the best combination? That again is obviously person dependent. But
But
uh,
is it not overwhelming if you go for PCMB? Is it not overwhelming? And is it not getting us undivided as we require undivided focus, complete rapt and attention on the subjects which are core to us? So if I am going with bio alongside, is it not a slightly, I'm not asking for much of digress, but is it not a slightly dissuade us from our core competency?
okay, so I have many friends who had taken biology in IIT currently, who had taken biology in network. Uh, and
What's
biology is definitely an extra load. There is no doubt about that. But you're definitely not missing out on any of the. It's not like you're missing out on computer science or whatever is your fourth subject. So because that's very easy to pick up. You can pick up in 2 months or so, or even after you come into college, they have beginner course on programming, etc. If you have not done a programming course in your 12th, so that picking it up is not a big deal. So I would say, yeah, definitely moving away from it would be basically dividing your attention a bit. But still, I don't know why I feel it would be slightly worth it if you are
just
interested in biology, etc.
just to keep the options open? I presume you are picking on this choice, right?
Options open as well as that. I'm not missing out on too much if I don't take computer science. I'm not. So there is electronics as well. I think your third option, but then I'm not sure how the curriculum etc. is for that. So there is.
But on contrary, what is that to yield, Jacker? Is it any dividend that we get out of that choice?
First thing, keeping the options open, obviously. Second thing, I think it'll give a bit more clarity on over the time period what exactly, in the sense
So,
you'll get a little bit more clarity on what
okay,
exactly
you mean to say you buy time basically because you're indecisive at that time. So why not
you
to
buy
play
time
safe
and
and buy
experience,
time?
plus experience, like in the sense you would understand what the subject is about, right? A little more, a little better than what you had. So just time is not sufficient, like in the sense. So if you had to make the same decision 2 years later and you did nothing, like you have done nothing in the field, then that is not sufficient. But then you also explore a little more. You actually get to know.
More
You
about
get to know
yourself.
more about the
More
subject
about
and
yourself.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, correct, correct. But basically, you're indecisive at that point in time, so you buy time. Or I find it to be slightly departure from what you're into line of thought because uh,
So yes, sir, I
I
had
take it
followed
as
your line of thought,
prevaricate,
and
slightly
I had I had done.
prevarication of failure.
Okay.
Would you admit?
So, uh, I don't know what I was thinking. I actually think I was really brave to just ditch biology completely and go with computer science. So I'm not sure how I made the decision. That was a very so the good thing which happened was I paid zero attention to computer science. Like in the sense, all my focus was on PCM only. Um, I'm not sure if I could have done the same with biology. If just listening to the class and working out
Not
stuff.
that justice. It didn't draw you. That flair you didn't have since, but that flair, if you didn't have, you would have identified and accordingly went ahead with what you were more designed towards, right?
Uh-huh.
Yet, just to play safe, you made that choice, correct?
So the choice I made, I'm not sure how I made it, sir, because I think I wanted to just completely get rid of biology for some reason back then, and I don't know how much it helped because I don't know at school level how heavy biology is. Uh, I think for school level it is manageable definitely because CBSE exams are not that hard.
Right.
So
No, that can be managed. Of course, a boy of your caliber or a boy of a caliber which is in the bracket of the 1000, they'll be able to manage. My question being that why do we take a digress? There's no point
I
in taking
think
a digress.
there is no, uh, sir.
Because
So in my opinion,
I feel, Jayakar, correct me if I'm wrong, it gets you an elbow room to somehow maneuver your decision, or it gets you an elbow room to prevaricate your failure, which you may preempt. So I feel that you should be more certain on what you have decided, and once you have,
that was
there is
exactly
no point. Yeah,
my train of thought, and that is exactly why I
yeah,
did
yeah,
go forward
exactly,
with biology.
exactly,
But then,
exactly. That's
but then, what I feel right now in general is, so I take courses which are not related to what. So this might not be the so this is me, and this might not be this is most definitely not the best way to choose courses. But then I do choose diverse courses so that I get a flavor of everything because I'm not sure what I want to do.
right. That's correct.
Plus, even if it is not, I'm sure that
Broad based.
that is not something what I will do. It's just that studying that subject and knowing about it for that time period is
Yes,
sufficient.
yes.
It's a good enough
That
reason.
is welcome. That is welcome. That is more than welcome. Why? Because we need to have a broad base. Correct.
Yes, sir. So biology, like what I mean is, just studying that for the time period and maybe enjoying the subject is a good enough reason. It need not have any future.
Right, right. Agreed, agreed. That I do agree to. Correct. Yes, Shreyans, what do you wish to ask? Make good of the opportunity, dear. You don't get 673 rank to see you always, right?
Yes,
Dear, please show yourself, dear. They want to
Sure.
see you.
My hostel is a bit of a mess, but okay.
He's 673 rank and he made a good mark, very good mark. He's one of the topper of Karnataka. Right?
Yeah, but yeah, that doesn't get you any.
No, no, that's not. That's your modesty there, that you're speaking the way that you are. It doesn't take away from what you have earned. So 673 rank and now pursuing one of the best, one of the most coveted and sorted, which is electrical engineering in IIT Madras. Please make the best of what you can, Shreyans. It's a rare
yes,
opportunity. So far and few between.
yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask what were some what are some basic tips that we should do, like we should keep in mind always while giving the exam for IIT, because I also want to pursue IIT in my future.
Oh, so if you're sure about that, then the tips part, I think tons of people are there, Ritul sir himself included. So,
No,
but
no,
then
it should come from the horse's mouth. Then.
but then yeah. So for me at least, this is something. So right now, even I'm slightly off my. I'm not studying that regularly. So when I was looking at how I was studying back then, and one thing was a lot of self study and self thinking, like in the sense like while you can learn as much, obviously learn as much. I mean, attend classes and like absorb as much as you can, but then go back and just go through once and explore by yourself. Like ask why. I mean, don't just ask why this is correct. Ask why is that wrong, and basically, yeah, explore all the possibilities and understand. Basically, get a very solid foundation of your theory. So every time you solve a problem and a new type of problem, you realize that your understanding of theory before was slightly wrong and it gets slightly corrected. So keep track of this progress, etc., and be very active in the sense active make active decisions while you're learning in the sense. Uh, so when you're self-studying, make notes. Like if you encounter a problem, like I said right now, something which basically changes your perception of the entire theory, or some new in mathematics, especially some new method. So in mathematics, a very common method is finding the dividend and putting for whenever they give something like whenever they give a question such that something is real or something like you have to find values such that they're real. You have to find a condition such that they're real. A very common practice is to find a quadratic equation for it somehow and basically put b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. So that is some very common and that has applications many places. So this is basically some specific tool. So these kind of tools as well in mathematics you can note down. And above all, being very speed is very important. This is something which I suffered with a lot. So speed in the sense, speed is basically making sure that you understood it, and it's in speed comes with memory basically. Like if you've solved a lot of things enough, so you will be able to cut through a lot of steps and directly arrive at many. So speed is something which only comes through practice, and it's very important. You have to be able to crunch time and just churn out your answers. Like you have to be very quick on your feet. Other than that, yeah, just make notes and be active and talk to, like, ask a lot of doubts to yourselves. Like if you can't approach a professor, it's fine. Like just write them down somewhere. At some point when you're studying something else, you will realize something related to it. It will always help. Maintain good for and don't ignore chemistry. So for me, lifesaver was chemistry in the end. Although inorganic chemistry specifically. So last 2 months I sat and so there is this thing actually which not many people know about. There is so JEE actually releases a syllabus sheet for IIT every year. So for the exam every year, and that syllabus sheet is very specific. So in chemistry, in inorganic chemistry, they give a list of all the inorganic compounds exactly which you should know about. If you go through any textbook or any coaching material, you realize they give a lot of irrelevant info, in the sense they give a lot more chemicals than required. Like you don't need to remember so many, or they are missing out on few important ones because they are not updated to the syllabus every year. So I realized this very late, I think 2 or 3 months before the exam, and I followed that, and it helped me a lot. And for inorganic chemistry specifically, make notes. If you don't remember stuff, make notes and be aware of how much is there, like throughout the year. But then in the end, focus a little more towards chemistry because it's memorization, and in the end, if you do it, it'll just be fresh in your memory before advance, and it'll help a lot because that's the only place where you just have to look at the question. You don't need to put pen on paper, and it'll take you like maybe 1 minute of thinking, and you can choose an answer. So that's where you buy time. That's where you get your marks. And so don't ignore chemistry. That's inorganic chemistry.
Very important tip. Very, very important tip. And you say one time as well. Jacob, what were the other examination that you pursued before of IIT?
So I tried for KVPY and I failed miserably. uh, and
No, you learned of it.
yeah, I
What
definitely
the
did.
failure.
So
Yeah.
no, but then yeah. So basically, KVPY is a very KVPY is a very good. So I many of the practice tests I gave on by myself online. So one more tip is time yourself if possible. When you're studying and for the first time, it's still you don't need to time yourself, you know. But then if you're solving some paper or something later, try to time yourself and see how fast you solve.
Yeah. Yes.
But
Very
for the
important.
first time you're doing, don't put the time constraint because give yourself flexibility to give
Understand the
yourself
concept.
understand and yeah,
When the
explore.
application required, then you need to put yourself in a time frame, simulate an environment back home as examination, and
Yeah.
keep to time.
So
Right.
for my KVPY preparation, when I was solving previous year papers, I tried to do that.
Okay.
So
You
KVPY
also
was the
applied
only
for
one.
NTSC?
NTSC I had put in my 10th, but back then I wasn't much into all competitive exams and I wasn't aware at all about all this. So NTSC I didn't do well as well.
So do they serve any purpose? Because students do ask that what's the why are we taking these examination? What are we to gain of these examination? And they are the ones who will be asking me, coming back to me. If I pester them on an STSC or NTSC, they will ask me, what do I gain of it? It being asked very often a question, very frequented one. What do we gain of it as of now? It's difficult for them to objectify it. For us to objectify is easy. For them, it's difficult. So how will you help me on that? Help me on that to answer that question.
So see, there is no doubt it is helpful. Obviously, like I mean, so how does it help? First thing, you get to know the competition out there. You realize how many. You just get to know where you stand in general, and it is fine. Like you can. I mean, few students, if they are standing really low, I think that's completely fine. I mean, there are many other places where they might be brighter and they can look into that. So first thing again, like it helps you understand if that is the right field for you, etc. Uh, Secondly, I mean, yeah, obviously you get to know I mean, in general, the scenario out there. Um, Secondly, trying anything is never. I mean, it's always good to just try, right? And then only then you'll know you learn something for sure. There is no doubt about that. Um and thirdly, I think it'll open up your mind about how so school exams and all they don't exactly give you. It's basically like there are a predefined set of steps and you follow that. Here you open up your mind about the thought process. Basically, how exactly should you approach any theory, or how exactly should you approach any question? What should be the thought process? This thought process is something you develop through these exams only, I believe, which will help a lot because this is something which you must have once you if you are looking for anything like G. So you should have a clear thought process. It should not be like, okay, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to follow what exactly the given in a textbook. You should have a thought process of why this is done, why that is done, why not that, and how to approach questions as well. So many people still don't know how to approach questions. Something as simple as if a question is given, first list down what are the things the question has told you, what is the exact info, everything, and what implications you can make from those next step, and have an idea of what you need to find. Then try to find a path. So that should be a general thought process for any question. And I don't know. I don't think I have found places people where I have found people in general who don't follow anything as such and they get very confused. So if you are anytime confused, this is the general thought process, right? Just try to note down what the question is given, know what is the fine line procedure, try to find some implications from that, and try to connect a path. So these things are something you definitely pick up from these kind of examinations. I don't think from school examinations you uh, gain all this.
Algorithm,
Algorithm.
competitive fervor.
Yeah, and algorithm plus some tricks and tactics as well, obviously. Um, Other than that, I think the main selling point here is the exposure you get. because in your school you have maybe some 30-40 people you're competing with, and you need not put it as competition. 30-40 people, 30-40 people, and the completely about them, their performance, etc., and various time. And usually your performance is important for you to make a career decision, in the sense, if you are good at something, then you have the opportunity. It's not that you have to do something, you have the opportunity to take up science, etc. But if you're not that good at it, there's obviously many other options, equally good options you can go for. So
Last question, Jacob. Last question of you, which is to help in particular seance, if you answer and speak your mind, which is, should be an easy pushover. A person should be an easy pushover, should give in easily, or should churn themselves. Which is to help? To seek help or to churn and get answer to the question on your own?
Oh, okay. So this is something. So when I used to solve, this used to be my problem, that when I used to be stuck at a problem, it used to be very hard for me to go to the next problem unless I get that. And that could say that wasted a lot of time. Plus, but otherwise, I used to think of all the different possibilities and where I was going wrong in my theory, etc.
So where were we going for? Was it that you used to go for seeking help without of much indulgence, or were you to churn yourself to the top to whatever in capacity and then only seek help?
So I think that depended a lot on that particular time instant, in the sense, if I came out, if I had too much on my plate, then I would, but I would definitely do some homework. Without that, I would not directly go and ask. It also depended on the topic, I guess. If I was really interested in the topic, I used to churn and I used to do it. But if I was not that interested and I just wanted a quick answer, I used to go and ask for it. But then most of the time, yeah, I used to definitely do your homework, in the sense, like, understand what that help you understand what you have gone wrong. Because if you go and just ask a teacher, he'll tell you what is right. But then when you do it on yourself, you realize that all the wrong things, all the wrong preconceptions, or all the wrong things you have learned, and this is the right thing. And yeah, you don't need to raise your hand.
I just wanted to, and it wasn't the question, it's also my continuation. It's also about your joy. If you get that question right, the joy you will get, that I finally solved this. That is also something which is important, because
it can lead to equally. It can be equally frustrating when you don't get it. So,
in more cases than one, you'll get it right, Jacob.
But then my main problem was, you should I think at some point understand that you have to move forward, because that used to be a struggle with me. If I used to be stuck at a problem, I would basically be so hung up over it. I think I used to just go and sleep. Because but at some point you have to just let it go and move forward. Like, you have to give your best. If you can't, just move forward.
But you should not shy away from giving your best. Shreyas, I think your audience do it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot, Jacob. Very important points being over here clarified of a person of your caliber. Certainly, this will go beyond, and this will go beyond what is any teacher to ever communicate.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. I mean, I was happy.
Yeah, it should go into their skin. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Jacob. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you, sir. All the best. All the best, you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. I mean, if you're telling thank you to me, don't address me as sir, please.
Shaktam will get the vote of thanks. Yes, Shaktam, please conclude.
So thanks for all this insight on all these topics, and all this information which used to befuddle us a lot about what we should do, and also the insight into the topic per se about parents and counseling, which was something which is really pressing. And
so one final thing I would like to add is, no matter what you take up in life, it actually doesn't matter that much. It does matter, but then if you just take a step back, you realize that it doesn't matter that much, not as much as we commit to it. So it's fine. Like, don't think too much. Like, think about it, but then there is a life apart from career as well. So
True. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Shan. Thank you, Shaktam.
Yes, sir, anytime. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.